Well, messaging came from paging. A lot of people don't know that, so this is maybe a revelation, but we had pagers, and then we all of a sudden had two-way pagers, and with those we had keyboards. And with that we went into what's called two-way paging, which overnight became instant messaging. And my company, along with several other people, SkyTel, when I named it SkyTel, we had to change the name because it was originally named National Satellite Paging, which was great. People thought it's coming from a satellite, I'll glow it dark. I mean, there's 100 reasons why you wouldn't buy that product, and it was some kind of pager. But when we moved the talk to messaging, and we started talking about it being a freedom machine where you can get out and go anywhere and be in touch at all times. It shows a combination of incredible science and technology, and we certainly at SkyTel had the best and brightest in the area of scientists, combined with great marketing, positioning, messaging, because you might show somebody and let them use it, but it took them a while for them to really assimilate what that's going to mean for them in terms of being able to communicate anytime, anywhere. So originally we took it in to the CEOs and said, you got to have this, right? And it really wasn't a CEO product at first. It was the guys that had all the pressure, all the stress. So those guys were the operations guys. They wanted to know the good news, the bad news, but they wanted it, good or bad, they wanted it as fast as they could get it so they could do something about it. So we'd go to the senior VP Ops, we'd go to the senior VP of Sales. The guys that were really accountable day to day, minute to minute, the time, overcoming time and space, which is what messaging does for you in a form of mental teleportation. We suddenly were able to get to the people who made those decisions, because a lot of times people forget you got to sell this stuff and you got to make a profit on it too. So you have to have a business model that works. But getting to the right people that it is a must-have for, as opposed to guys that look at it as, and most CEOs would say, I think that's really cool. I might use that. Why don't I get that for myself? But they don't think sometimes all the way down the organization as to how that's going to speed up the organization, it's going to speed up customer service, it's going to speed up sales and things like that. And the most important thing that they forget is this thing going to make me more competitive? If it's going to make me more competitive, and that's where everybody should sell new products and new technology, is on the value proposition. Not just return on investment, which is important, but also the fact it's going to give me a competitive edge. Anybody that sees the competitive edge, or the speed of communications to their service force, to their, in the case of SkyTel, in the case of instant messaging as it got launched, to their sales force, where they could outmaneuver the competition, it sells really, really fast.
But today it's not just business people. Everyone uses instant messaging. That's how people communicate.
You can't imagine what it feels like to be me or some of the other guys involved early on in SkyTel when we would go out and evangelize this all the time, that this is going to be everywhere. We'd say, your kids are going to have this and stuff. And this would have been in 1988, 89, 1990, okay? And now you walk into a movie, and before the movie starts, it lights up, and every single guy's got instant messaging, which is their number one use, by the way, of their smartphone. Okay, all the apps aside, even the telephone, instant messaging. So one of the things I did was to talk about non-simultaneous communications. That's a lot of words, but I'd say you're wasting so much time when you pick up the phone and you call people and you go, hey, how's so-and-so and how you been doing and all that. You waste 20, 30, 40, 50% of the conversation when all you needed to say was, what do the sales look like, in a text. And it has sped up the way we maneuver in business and in our lives so fast. But truthfully, when you're in a place like an airport and you see everybody's doing this and you realize that you were there day one and explaining it and they were saying, I don't need it. What I've got is good enough. And the same thing happened with the cable modem. With the cable modem, took it out, and again they said, what I've got is good enough. I've got the ability to type, and email, and what else could there be? So we literally invested, when we came out with the cable modem, in building up more content, because the content pushed the use and the need for bandwidth. And sometimes you have to do more in the cycle of bringing something to market than you ever expect, but it's worth it, and it works.